Hey everybody, how is it going? This is Sean from AZ Education. Once again, we're going to discuss today a very important concept in writing, and that concept is about writing with the right structure. So it's very important for you to organize your ideas. Organization has marks in pretty much any exam you do for English language. And also, even if you're writing, letters or emails, or you are making an essay for your university or college, or you are just writing an article to be published in a blog or anything, basically anything you ever write, you need to know these steps. There are 4 steps that we're going to discuss today that are essential for any writing you do. So first, we will discuss what to do if it's a long paragraph. Then we'll discuss what to do if it is a short paragraph. The best idea to have is 1 point per paragraph. Let me write this down here. So let's get started with the actual work. 1 point per paragraph. What I mean by this is if you have a question about, do you support technology or not? And you say you do support technology, you have 3 things to say: that it creates jobs, it makes things faster, and it is more futuristic. You should not put, 2 points in one paragraph, 1 point in the other, or all 3 points in one. You should make 3 paragraphs, each paragraph with a different point. So the idea of paragraphs is basically you make a new point in each paragraph. It's the point, its details and descriptions and examples, and then the next paragraph is a completely different point. It is okay to have a little contradiction. For example, in one paragraph, I'm saying that technology has created so many jobs. We have jobs in IT and machinery and troubleshooting. We have people employed everywhere, and it's really advancing the world in jobs. However, it does have its cons when it causes unemployment, where it replaces cashiers. So the reason I said all of this was to show you that the whole paragraph, maybe 70 or 80%, talked about how it is beneficial, and that is my main focus. And yes, I said however, I can say nonetheless, nevertheless, but it's one short sentence which is opposing the whole idea, the whole point. So if it's just one thing that opposes the whole thing, it's fine. But if it's half and half, then better you make 1 paragraph in favor, 1 paragraph against. So again, the same concept. You should have 1 idea per paragraph. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is first talk about a long paragraph. And this is something you would see in courses like IELTS. And then we'll get into a short paragraph, which is something you will see in courses like CELPIP. Okay, but again, this video is being made for everybody, because no matter who you are, what you're doing with writing, if you're writing English language, you need to know this for essays and any academic writing you do. So it's very important to follow these 4 steps. Now, what are the 4 steps? Let's write this up here. Okay, 4 steps, and it doesn't matter if it's a long or short paragraph, you always want to follow these things. First one is topic sentence. The second one is elaboration or explanation. Third one is example, and the 4th one is the conclusion. Some people call it concluding a sentence, but I want to say conclusion because sometimes it is a whole sentence and sometimes it's just a short conclusion. Okay, it's like mixed up with another sentence, so sometimes it doesn't stand on its own as a sentence. So let's get into an example of a long paragraph, which you would do for IELTS, for example. So you're doing your body 1, body 2. Let's pick an idea. Let's talk about taxation, all right? And I'm going to oppose taxes, of course. Who likes taxes? Nobody except for the government, right? So let's talk about taxes. Now, I got to think about my main focus, not something broad like I don't like taxes, but let's make it specific, okay? I don't like taxes because governments would waste the money. Okay, so we don't know where it's going. So let's talk about that. I'm going to write my first sentence, and there's a way I'm going to write it. I'll tell you about it in a sec. Taxation is considered a theft by many of those that are obligated to pay the amounts due to the negligent handling of said amounts. Taxation is considered theft by many of those that are obligated to pay the amounts due to the negligent handling of said amounts. Of course, it could be a simpler sentence. I'm making it fancy, complex, and long on purpose because if you're doing one of your exams, you want to make them fancy, your sentences, words, and show that you're capable of doing the right grammar, punctuation, and sentence structures with your long sentences. So it's it's a complicated sentence, but what it's mainly saying is, look, people who pay taxes, they don't like to because they know that it's being the handling of it is very negligent. Right now, I've given you the whole sauce. I've given you everything you need to know. You don't even need to read the rest of the paragraph, but what the rest of the paragraph will do is give you an elaboration. It'll give you an explanation of what I really mean by this. So we'll get into that explanation next. However, the topic sentence is called the topic sentence for a reason. It gives you the whole topic right away. So you would see this, open a newspaper, okay, go online, open a newspaper online. You would see this format every time. Every new paragraph you read, written by an academic expert, the first sentence has the whole idea. The entire idea is in the first sentence. The other sentences explain it more. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go into the explanation. So let me give a little explanation, which is going to be very simple. Most people would be very agitated with the misuse of their money, where the ideal expectation is that it would be used for developing infrastructure, education, health, or the economy. Let's say and or, because it's not exclusive, and or the economy. However, now it's again just the same point. However, it mostly is seen being misused. Okay, let me just read it to make sure I have written everything correctly. What's wrong here? Misused? What's wrong with misused? Okay. Most people would be very agitated with the misuse. Oh, I said misuse twice. Let's say something else. Is mostly seen being mishandled. I said handling too. Is mostly is being seen is being used inappropriately. Let's do that. Inappropriately. So you gotta make different words to keep it fresh and show your variety of writing skills. Most people would be very agitated with the misuse of their money, where the ideal expectation is that it would go for developing infrastructure, education, health, economy. However, it is mostly seen being used inappropriately. Okay, now we're going to give an example. All right, so what I've done so far, guys, is I have explained why people are the way they are here, like why people don't like giving taxes, why it's considered theft. I have explained that. Okay, so now you have a more clear description rather than just a topic sentence. You have a much more clear idea. Now I'm going to make it even more clear by being more specific. So when you get into an example, you become very specific, okay? In some cases, you can quote people. You can actually say that this person spent this money, or cite the incident, like what actually happened and on this day, on this occasion. You can talk about a company, a major company, a University of California, University of Texas, whatever, they did this, or there was a research that showed that. So realistic scenarios, you can use that. Or what I'm going to use here is a theoretical scenario, not really taking names or giving news items, but just explaining something with a more theoretical concept. For example, a lot of tax money is spent on motorcades or needless extra security or expensive private jets, where all these luxuries are put in the lap of politicians, benefiting no one else but them. Okay, so now I've given you an example how this money, I've been saying that it's been used inappropriately and people don't like how the negligent handling has been. Now I have given you a very specific example. A lot of the tax money is spent on motorcades or needless extra security or expensive private jets, where all these luxuries are put into the lap put in the lap, into the lap would be better, into the lap of politicians, benefiting no one else but them. Okay, now we're going to get into the conclusion. Conclusions can be therefore, hence, consequently, as a result, a lot of connectors. And now we're just going to conclude the whole idea. So what it is mainly is that people are frustrated because how the money is handled, and there should have been a better use. Now, careful here. What I said just now is a solution, right? There should be a better use. And a lot of people give a solution, but that is a new idea. So avoid giving a solution. Make sure you're just wrapping up this idea, this whole paragraph, not including anything new, not starting a new topic. Okay, that's one major mistake I see people make. All right, so therefore, taxation and the way it's handled leads to mostly unpopular, what do you say? Unpopular views from taxpayers. All right, taxation and the way it's handled leads to mostly unpopular views from taxpayers. That is a summary of this whole thing. It is a short sentence. It should not be complex. It should not be long because you're not going into explanation. You're just simply paraphrasing the whole paragraph very quick. Okay, so you introduce the topic, you explain it, you give a very specific example, and you conclude it very quickly, like with a very short sentence. All right, now let's talk about a small paragraph. Let's say if you're doing the CELPIP exam, in the CELPIP exam, sometimes in one paragraph, you should make 2 points. I just said earlier, one paragraph should be 1 point, but in CELPIP, if you're doing that exam, guys, you should do sometimes 2 points in one body. 1 point per body is okay too, but 2 points per body also work. And it's just the type of exam, it's a different format. So in that case, I want to make just 2 sentences, okay, for my 1 point. So my topic sentence will always be separate. That's going to be my 1 sentence, and the other sentence would include all of this. Okay, so let's talk about a topic sentence. It's going to be something similar, but a little shorter if I am doing a very short paragraph. So let's say taxation is considered a crime by many people due to the way it's misused. Short topic sentence, but you see, the idea is there that you have the whole concept there, not a very fancy and long complex sentence, but it is the whole gist of it that people don't like taxation because how it's handled. Let's go into the elaboration, and let's do that first. Okay, not politicians, that's an example. Many or much of the tax money is spent on unproductive aspects that benefit very few. For example, now you can see I have mixed the for example within the same sentence. Don't want to do another sentence for it, and that's because I'm trying to keep it short. I don't even have to say for example. I can use a semicolon and just give my example. A semicolon is a good break in the sentence, so I'll save more words this way. Politicians overspending in luxuries is a classic example of this. Now I'm going to say hence it is mostly not appreciated. All right, let's make it clear. What is mostly not appreciated? Tax is mostly not appreciated. Because I just want to be clear, it's tax, not politicians. So you can see I have the elaboration here, right here. Most of the tax money is spent on unproductive aspects that benefit very few. Example, politicians overspending in luxuries is a classic example of this. On luxuries, I should say. And the conclusion, hence tax is mostly not appreciated by many. Okay, you have everything that I have here in this short format in only 2 sentences, but you can see it's still following the steps, still following the 4 things. So no matter if you do a long paragraph or a short one, make sure you follow the 4 techniques Very important, so you have a good flow of ideas. You do lose marks in English exams or essay writing if you don't have a flow of ideas. Flow of ideas, structure, and cohesion, coherence, all of that is the same thing that I just showed you. So if you follow these steps, the 4 steps, very essential for writing, you'll do great. Okay, so I hope this video helps you guys. One more thing before we go. If any one of you is interested in getting your speaking checked, send me your CELPIP speaking. This is an offer for CELPIP speaking. My email is going to be at the end of this video and also in the description. Send me your CELPIP speaking, the 8 questions, answer them on a voice recorder, send it to me, and make sure that you're okay with me sharing it on YouTube, because I'm going to pick some samples, and hopefully next week I'm going to share a speaking feedback based on a real student's sample. So if you want to be assessed and if you're not shy of your voice being heard on YouTube, send that to me over the email and we'll do a video on that too. So please subscribe if you haven't already, if you don't want to miss that video, and also like and share. We'll talk soon. Take care.